Hello and welcome. My name is Father William Maestri, and this is another edition of Overfed and Undernourished. And we've changed the scenery. We're outside in sunny Southern California. And this edition of Overfed and Undernourished begins with a question. Would you like some good news? Now, before we too quick to answer that question, there are many in powerful places in our society that have a vested interest in giving you the answer, no, we don't want good news. They have a vested interest in keeping you miserable, depressed, anxious-ridden, and so on. And they may have a good case because, as Thomas Paine said back in the Revolutionary War times, these are the times that try souls. And certainly 2020 has been one of those times that, well, really has tried our souls. The foreign virus, the impeachment, Russian collusion, civil unrest, and now this, let's say, for the sake of politeness, these irregularities, sounds like a bowel condition, irregularities with the election. If we had our choice, probably 2020, we would hope the needle would not stop there again. But it's time for some good news, because I think Ronald Reagan said it best. Each morning I wake up, I choose to walk on the sun side of the mountain. Well, here's an opportunity to walk on the sun side of the mountain on this November 9th, 2020. This morning, Pfizer announced a vaccine for this foreign virus, and it had a 90% positive effect on those in the test trial. Now, that's far better than even the flu vaccines that take place. And I think that we ought to really celebrate that and thank God for that, actually, because God, once again, is the light that shines in the darkness and is not overcome. And, we tend to think that we're in control. We tend to think that we are the masters of our fate and the captains of our ship and all of that sort of stuff. And if not, we're getting there. Slowly but surely, our technology and all that goes with that is going to drive us there, and our science and our economic power and our military power and all of that sort of stuff. And God has to chuckle at those delusions and illusions of grandeur, because really this is God's creation, and God is in charge. And we're along for the ride, so to speak. And the day we begin to think that we're running the show, that's when usually bad things happen, tragic things happen. But this is wonderful news, and it's not simply news, good news for the United States. It's not simply good news for President Trump, who initiated the warp speed. I'll get it out. I watched Star Trek too, it's my generation. Warp speed. And it's truly been fantastic with these countless men and women whom we don't even know. You think about that. These men and women in laboratories working day and night to relieve suffering, dying, humanity. Not Americans, not this group, not that group, not this race, not that socioeconomic group, not that religion or nationality. They're dedicated to life. They're dedicated to the sanctity of life, to wanting each individual to live a good life, to live the good life, to live in a state of well-being. And they've sacrificed, I'm sure, much, in order to get us so close. And now it's a question of production and distribution and what further testing may have to be done. Unfortunately, and this is always the cloud that is over the silver lining, but I don't want to lose sight of the silver lining, in this case the golden lining. There are those who have been advocating for some time now that when a vaccine comes out, we're still not going to advocate taking it. And what we're going to have to do is have our own state panel of medical experts to decide this. do we really realize that this is really a case of playing with human life? This transcends mask and social distancing and all of these other things that we have become so used to. This is something that should transcend red state, blue state, President Trump, some other candidate, and so on and so forth like this. If we cannot come together on a medical advance, especially in the face of a pandemic that affects the world, it's not quarantined anywhere anymore, it affects the world, then we have really entered an incredibly dark period. We have entered a dark period where for personal gain or for power or for control, we are going to be willing to play politics with people's lives. That is really playing politics with people's lives. And those kind of people who are advocating that should really have no serious voice in the public square because they are not working for the common good. They are not trying to win what Horace Mann called that small victory for mankind. One small victory for humanity that each of us has an opportunity to do every day as we pass through this world. As we pass through this world, we have the opportunity to do that. So it is very good news. It's a cause for celebration. It's not a cause for pride. It's not a cause for relaxing our safety measures and all of that sort of stuff. It's not that. It's once again seeing that where human limitations reach their ceiling, Almighty God steps in. And for those who don't believe that, fine. But I choose to believe, again, that there is a hand, a divine providence, a hand of Almighty God that is involved in the affairs of His creation, of all of us. And, we begin by giving you the litany of all of the reasons to look down on 2020. St. Augustine, a little over 1,500 years ago, more than that, more than 1,500 plus years ago, said something very important. He says, people say the times, it's the times. Augustine says, we are the times. Good times, bad times, we are the times. And that's really very important, and it's very true. We often make the times. Yes, there's many things out of our control. We have no influence in or on. But we do have that influence and that ability to direct. Whether we live on that gloomy, cloudy, rainy, snow-filled slush side of the mountain, or we can walk on the sun side of the mountain. Because you see, it is true. We are the times. And this time, let's make it a time for hope, which is at the very heart of the American story.